It's the heartbreaking story that has gripped millions across the country. The tragic loss of 3-year-old Trigg Kiser, son of social media influencer Emilie Kiser. According to newly released police reports, what began as an ordinary day at home quickly turned into an unimaginable tragedy. While playing in the family's backyard in Chandler, Arizona, Trigg tripped while interacting with an inflatable chair and ended up in the pool. Authorities say he was in the water for nearly 7 minutes before his father discovered him, and outside alone for more than 9 minutes in total. Despite being rushed to the hospital and fighting for 6 days, he sadly passed away on May 18, 2024. At the time of the incident, Emilie was out with friends, and her husband, Brady Kiser, was home with Trigg and their newborn Theodore. Reports indicate that Brady was aware Trigg had gone outside, but the events unfolded so quickly that by the time he reached the backyard, the situation was dire. This detail from the Chandler Police Department's report has been central to public discussion, as many have been trying to understand exactly how the timeline played out that day. It's a sobering reminder of how quickly accidents involving young children can occur, even in familiar surroundings. In July, Chandler Police recommended that prosecutors pursue a Class 4 felony child abuse charge against Brady Kiser. However, after reviewing the evidence, prosecutors ultimately decided against filing charges, stating there was no reasonable likelihood of conviction. This decision has been controversial for some observers, but is rooted in the legal threshold prosecutors must meet in criminal cases. While many online have voiced their opinions, the official stance from authorities remains that the incident was a tragic accident without sufficient grounds for criminal liability. Emilie Kiser, known for her parenting content and home life posts on TikTok, where she has roughly 4 million followers, found her family's private grief thrust into the public eye. The influencer has not spoken extensively about the case on her social platforms, choosing instead to handle legal matters privately. But as details from the police report emerged, the Kisers have also taken steps to protect the memory and dignity of their son. That effort recently came to a head in a court decision that favored Emilie's request for certain sensitive details to remain confidential. On Friday, August 8, the Arizona Superior Court for Maricopa County ruled in Emilie's favor, allowing 2 pages from the Chandler Police Department's report to be redacted. According to her attorney, Shannon Clark, these pages contained graphic descriptions of the final moments of Trigg's life. Clark emphasized that the redactions do not change the material facts of the accident, but instead ensure that a child's memory is preserved with respect and compassion. The legal team argued that releasing these specific details could cause unnecessary harm and be misused in ways that exploit the tragedy. The concern, Emilie's legal team said, was that unredacted reports might be used to create disturbing or sensationalized content, potentially even AI-generated reenactments that could spread across social media platforms. With AI technology becoming more accessible, fears of such misuse are no longer hypothetical. By securing these redactions, the Kisers and their attorneys believe they are not only protecting their family's privacy, but also setting a precedent for handling sensitive material in cases involving minors. The police report's other details remain available to the public, providing a factual account of the timeline and events without delving into the most personal and traumatic elements. According to Chandler Police, Trigg was discovered in the pool. Emergency services were called immediately, and life-saving measures were attempted. He was transported to a hospital, where medical teams worked tirelessly to stabilize him. Despite those efforts, his condition remained critical, and he passed away 6 days later, a period the family has described as both hopeful and heartbreaking. For many parents, this incident serves as a stark reminder about pool safety and child supervision. Even in homes with loving, attentive families, accidents can happen in moments, Safety experts stress the importance of physical barriers around pools, close adult supervision, and swift emergency response when children are near water. Organizations such as the American Red Cross regularly provide resources on drowning prevention, which remains a leading cause of accidental death for young children in the United States. While the public's interest in the Kiser case has been intense, it's also sparked conversations about respecting boundaries when reporting on personal tragedies. Emilie's legal victory to protect her son's memory highlights the ongoing tension between the public's right to information and a family's right to privacy. News organizations and online communities have a responsibility to balance coverage with compassion, ensuring that factual reporting does not cross into sensationalism or exploitation, especially when children are involved. As the Kiser family continues to grieve and heal, their focus remains on honoring Trigg's life and the joy he brought during his short time on Earth. One aspect of this case that stands out is how quickly it went from a private family emergency to a national headline. In today's world, social media platforms can amplify personal stories within hours, especially when the people involved already have a large following. For influencers like Emilie Kiser, who share parts of their personal lives with millions of viewers, the line between public and private moments can blur overnight. This incident has reignited the debate over how much of a family's personal. In their legal filings, they described him as a vibrant, loving child whose memory should be defined by his light, not the tragedy of his final moments. For followers of Emilie's online content and members of the broader public, the story is a sobering testament to both the fragility of life and the importance of empathy when confronting the personal losses of others. This chapter may be closing in court, but for the family, it will remain an ongoing journey of remembrance and love. One aspect of this case that stands out is how quickly it went from a private family emergency to a national headline. In today's world, social media platforms can amplify personal stories within hours, especially when the people involved already have a large following. For influencers like Emilie Kiser, who share parts of their personal lives with millions of viewers, the line between public and private moments can blur overnight. This incident has reignited the debate over how much of a family's personal life should remain offline, even for those who make a living by sharing it. Legal experts following the case note that while the court's decision to redact parts of the police report was unusual, it wasn't unprecedented. Similar rulings have been made in other sensitive cases involving minors, particularly when graphic details had no bearing on the public's understanding of the key facts. In these instances, judges weigh the principles of transparency against the potential for harm. Here, the court found that removing certain descriptions did not alter the timeline, causes, or conclusions of the investigation, but did provide an important safeguard for the family. As the Kiser family moves forward, many supporters have shifted the focus toward promoting water safety awareness in Trigg's memory. Local Arizona community groups and online followers have shared resources for drowning prevention, swimming lessons, and pool safety equipment. While nothing can undo the tragedy, these efforts aim to honor Trigg by potentially preventing similar accidents. It's a way of turning grief into action, creating a legacy of safety education that could save lives in the future.